is Lyman Holton. In this lesson, we're going to talk about American English pronunciation. Are you ready? Let's begin. Sound 28 of the 44 sounds of American English. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different letters and letter combinations that we can use to make the same sound. And that sound is kind of a sound. Bunch. You could have a bunch of bananas. It's called a bunch. If all the grapes are still on the vine there, that's a bunch of grapes. Did you know that kangaroos, if you have many of them together, it's a bunch of kangaroos? Same thing with pigs. Bunch of pigs, bunch of kangaroos. Grapes and bananas. A bunch. A lot of something. We have O-U. Enough. Have you had enough to eat? Would you like a little more pie, perhaps, to fill you up? Oh, you've had enough? Okay. Complain. Complain. Do you know people who complain a lot? I certainly do. They're so tiresome. Annoying. Please, don't be a complainer. Be happy. Complain. O-E, we have the word does. Does. Does your mother love to cook? Does your brother like to ride a bicycle? Does your father have a good job? Does. O-O. Here, O-O shows up as in the word flood. Flood. When there's too much rain, what happens? The rivers overflow to where they shouldn't be, right? Like into farmers' crops or perhaps into a town where the buildings are, and we call that a flood. A flood. Bunch. Enough. Complain. Does. Flood. All the same sounds with these letters in black. That's the end of this lesson. Hello. Sound 29 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. Here we have 2 vowel combinations. Oi is the sound, oi, and, of course, oi. 2 different ways we can put together that sound. So let's look at this. We have boycott. 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 Do you know what a boycott is? Well, for example, if the prices go up too high at a neighborhood supermarket, you might decide that I'm going to boycott that store by not spending any of my money there. And if I can get all of my friends and neighbors to do the same thing, hey, maybe the store will take notice and lower their prices. It's a boycott. Could be a boycott against most anything. A convoy. Convoy. A convoy. If you see some military vehicles going down the road in a line together, they're probably, one right after the other. They're probably in what you call a convoy. And they cannot deviate from that course. They must stay one behind the other from point A to point B. It's a convoy. Enjoy. Are you enjoying your life? I hope so. I know I am because I get to talk to you. Enjoy. Enjoy life. Have a good time. We have O-I, the same sound. Voice. I have such a melodious voice. Or not. A voice. This is my voice. Like it or not. Oil. Soil. What is soil? Well, basically dirt. Farmers plant their seeds in the soil and the crops grow and life is good. Soil. If your clothes get dirty, someone might say, oh, you've soiled your clothes and you need to wash them. A joint. Joint. Many different things mean joint. Here, let's say, for example, my elbow is a joint. My wrist is a joint. Joints where your bones come together, that's a joint. It has some other meanings too, but let's go with that one for now. Boycott, convoy, enjoy, voice, soil, joint. And that concludes this lesson. Hello. Sound 30 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. Here we have 2 3-letter combinations. What sound do you think we're making here? How about or? We have or. Detour, detour. Vapor, 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 vapor. How about the word cure, cure? U-R-E, pure. O-U-R, detour. Poor, adventure, adventure. Cure. The sound your. Now, what is a detour? Perhaps you're driving down the street and you see a sign that, the road is blocked. Maybe there's some construction work going on. So, there's an arrow pointing. Detour. You have to drive around. Take a detour, a longer way to get to where you want to go. There's an obstacle in the road. A vapor. What's vapor? Vapor. Well, how about a mist in the air? A vapor. How about if you boil water and steam comes up from the water? Well, that's a vapor. A cure. Have you ever had a cold? You take some medicine from the doctor and you're cured. A cure. A cure. Pure. Don't you like a glass of nice, cool, pure water? Maybe mineral water. It's very clean. It's pure. Adventure. How would you like to go on an adventure tour? To Hawaii. What do you think? Maybe Alaska, New Zealand. Many places you could go on an adventure. Okay? Someplace where you take a trip, you've never been there before, so it's something new to you. It's an adventure. And that is the sound or. Okay? Now, that's the end of this lesson. Hello. Sound 31 of the 44 sounds that comprise American English. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-letter combinations to make the same sound. Now, what sound do you think we're making this time? How about or? It's about as easy as it gets. Or, not too complicated. So, AR, they all 5 sound the same. The examples we have here, or, warm, warm, or warm. Like, it's so warm in the sun. What a nice, warm, sunny day. How about the word bore? Bore. Did you know that a male adult pig is called a boar? A boar. The mama pig is a sow. Or boar. How about OOR? We have door. door. Open the door, walk in the room. A door. Or, plain old O-R, or cork. How about on New Year's Eve, we pop the cork out of a champagne bottle to celebrate the new year. A cork. There's a cork in your wine bottle. How about O-R-E? Here we have a big word. Carnivore. What's a carnivore? How about an animal that eats meat? Right? Is a cow a carnivore? Yeah, it's not a carnivore. I believe that would be a herbivore. Carnivore, a meat eater, like a lion, a tiger, a wolf. Carnivore. Are you a carnivore? Okay, here we go. 5 different letter combinations for the same sound, or. And that ends this lesson. Hello. Sound 32 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. Here we have 4 and 4 letters and letter combinations for the sound. What? What sound? How about ooh? It's ooh. All right. We have EW sounds like in chew, ooh, chew. O can sound like ooh in who. How about OE? In the word shoeless. If you have no shoes, you're shoeless. Okay? Chew? Perhaps you like gum and you like chewing on gum. Some people think that's a bad habit. And who are you? If people don't know your name, they might ask, who are you? What is your name? How about OO? In the word zoo. What is a zoo? Well, it's a place where we collect live animals and keep them on display for the public to come and see them because they cannot get out into the wild and see them in their natural habitat. A zoo. Do you like going to the zoo? It's kind of a nice place to go on a Sunday afternoon. Here we have OU. Group. Ooh, group. A group of people. If you have more than, like say 3 people together, we would say it's a group. It's a group of people. Kind of like a crowd, but a group. Little less, sounds a little more tame. You, all by itself, in this word, emu. What's an emu? Well, do you know what an ostrich is? A flightless bird. It cannot fly. It's very tall, long neck, big, long, strong legs. Well, an emu kind of reminds me of an ostrich, but smaller. An emu. U-E. Clue. Clue. If you're an investigator and there's a crime, you're going to go to the crime scene and you're going to look every place to try and find a clue. A clue as to who committed the crime. Who did the crime? Well, there's some broken glass and there's some fingerprints. Those are clues to tell you who committed the crime. How about UI? In the word suit. Ooh, suit. Well, maybe you're a business person and you like to get up, get dressed in the morning in a nice suit. Perhaps a navy blue or a black suit with a white shirt and a pretty looking tie and go to work. You're wearing a suit. So here are 8 different examples of the sound ooh. There are many more, but here we have 8. And that's the end of this lesson. Hello. Sound 33 of the 44 sounds that comprise American English. Here we have 4 different letters and letter combinations that we can use to make the same sound. The sound is heard in the word company, company. Red, red, company, red, cemetery, cemetery, spread, spread. Convenient, convenient, convenient. Now, many of these sounds, remember, there are 44 of them, so many of them sound so close to each other that they're hard to distinguish apart. So if you look back on some of the other videos for this same series of 44, you're going to hear some sounds that's like, is that really a different sound or not? But there are 44 sounds. So here we have another one. All right? Now let's look at these words. We have a company. What's a company? Company? Well, if you have an employer, if you have a job, you probably work for a company. Perhaps something like the Kmart Corporation. Under the corporation, there are many companies. Perhaps you own a company. Maybe you own a trucking company. You move things around for people. Maybe you own a bakery where you bake goods and sell at your store. A company. Many kinds of companies. The color red. Red. Let's see. Not this. Is there anything red here? How about that? Red. A cemetery. A cemetery is also known as a graveyard. When someone dies, they are put into a cemetery. They're buried in a cemetery. Maybe buried, maybe they're put in a crypt. But a cemetery. We have the word spread. So in the morning, maybe you like to get up, have some toast, and you spread some jelly or jam or butter, peanut butter on your toast. You spread, spread. Also, you may have a bedspread, a big blanket type of material that you put over your mattress. Makes your bed look nice and keeps you warm at night. A bedspread. Convenient. Convenient. Now, what is convenient? Well, something that's easy to do, something that's easy to use. If there's a little store nearby your home, maybe a block away, closer than a block, you can walk there conveniently. Oh, it's so conveniently located that you'll go there and shop even though the prices are high. It's convenient. Perhaps you have your office set up so everything is convenient for you. Easy to get to your computer, easy to access your phone and books. Convenient. That's the end of this lesson. Hello. Sound 34 of the 44 sounds of American English. Here we have 5 letters and letters that make up one more sound. What could that sound be? Could it be aw, aw? How's that for a sound? Aw, like we would find in the word tall. Aw, 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 tall. How about the word exhaust? Exhaust, exhaust. Or AW in the word hawk, awk. A, aw, tall. A-U, aw, in exhaust. A-W, haw, in hawk. O, here O sounds like aw in the word frost. Cross. O-U, we have A-U, this is O-U, in the word thought, ought, aw, thought. Now, what is tall? How about me? I'm 6 feet tall. Are you a tall person? Tall. Perhaps there are many tall buildings in the city you live in. Here we go. A-U, exhaust. Exhaust. Exhaust comes out of the tailpipe of your car in city buses and things. It's that bad smelling things. It's called exhaust. Exhaust fumes. Spent gas and diesel, the fumes come out. Dirty air. A bird. Have you ever heard of a bird called a hawk? They're a bird of prey. That's what they call those. Eagles, hawks, falcons, all those types of birds. They go around killing rodents and other birds and eating them. This family of birds called a hawk. Many different kinds of hawks. Sparrowhawks, red-tailed hawks, hawks. Frost. If it's in the wintertime and it's very cold outside and warm in your home, you might see some frost on the windows. If you open up the freezer and you look in your freezer in the kitchen, you might see that there's some frost. It's an ice that's built up inside your freezer. That's called frost. Never heard of Jack Frost? It's a nursery rhyme for kids. And the word cross. Well, maybe you see two roads that cross each other, right? Or maybe the church you go to has a cross, and the church, a cross. Thought. Thought. The past tense of the word think, I'm thinking, I'm trying to think of a good plan, a good idea. The past tense is thought. I had a thought. Whoa, wait a minute. That's not thought. That's though. But watch this. We put a T on there, and now it's thought. Oops. The 34th sound. That's it for this lesson. Hello. Sound 35 of the 44 sounds we find in American English. Here we have two letter combinations. OU and OW. Now, what do you think we have for a sound? Could it be ow? Ow. All right. We have ground, ground. We have mount. We're talking about the OU. Surround, ound. Now we get down to OW. We have drown, how, drow, how, prowl, owl, prowl. Okay, what is ground? Well, if you're outside, you're probably standing on the ground. Land, ground, dirt. You're standing on the grass. You're standing on the ground. Maybe you live on the ground floor of an apartment building. That would be the floor level with the outside ground. A mount. Mount. Well, right now you're watching this video from the camera I've used, which is sitting on a camera mount. It's sitting on a tripod, a mount, a camera mount. Now, some people would call a horse their mount. Mount your steed and ride off, right? Mount. Surround. Well, if you walk around something, you could surround it. Maybe you and your friends go hunting and you have to get out into the woods, into the forest, and surround a deer. Surround something you're headed for, right? A pack of wolves will surround an animal that they want to kill. Or lions will do that. They go around it, they surround it, they get it in a circle. Drown. Something you don't want to do. You get water up your nose, in your lungs. You drowned. You die from getting water in you. You have drowned in a lake. Perhaps a bird falls into a pail, a can that has water in it. It can't get out and the little bird will drown in that pail of water. How? Well, how do you do? How do you do something? How do you fix this watch? How can I get to the supermarket? Can you tell me how? And prowl. Well, that's basically to sneak around, to prowl. Maybe you have a prowler in your neighborhood. That would be a person who comes prowling, sneaking around your neighborhood, hoping to find an open window or perhaps a car with the keys in it so they can steal it. A prowler, someone who sneaks around, or someone who prowls. Do you prowl? No, I'm sure you don't. And that is the end of this lesson. Sound 36 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. Now we have one 2-letter sound here. What sound could this be? What do you think? How about R? Just sounds like R. Sounds like the letter R. B-A-R. Bar. Bar. Now a bar could be something that's made out of iron, a metal bar that you use perhaps to pry something. It could be a bar where people go to drink alcohol. They have a bar in there. They call that big long counter where you stand there to drink your beverage, a bar. How about bark? Bark. Well, what's bark? Dogs bark. Have you ever heard them? Bark, 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 woof, woof, bark. They call that barking. The dog barks. Or you walk outside, you look at a tree, and that rough exterior of the tree trunk and the tree branches, that it's like a skin on the tree. That's called bark. Tree bark. Spelt the same way. Sounds the same. How about arch? Arch. Okay, an arch simply could be over a door, over an entranceway to a room. There could be an arch. Usually they would be curved. There would be an arch, right? And you walk through that arch. Kind of a doorway, not necessarily a door in it, but an entrance to some room. Or perhaps a garden, an archway, an arch. Also, you have an arch on each of your feet. Did you know that? Some people have a high arch, some a low arch, or flat-footed, but it's an arch. The arch of your foot. A chart. Well, a chart. Perhaps you have some information that you want to put on a display to show your coworkers because you're giving a presentation, and it's a chart. Perhaps it's a chart of showing how much money your company has made in the last quarter. A chart. Could be a chart about anything. A chart. How about a part? P-A-R-T. R-R, part. Well, a car part, if your car breaks down, you might have to go to an auto repair shop and buy a new part for your car. Maybe you need a new part for your watch because it stopped working. Some little gear. A scar. Do you know what a scar is? Well, a scar is if you get injured, perhaps you get cut, but it's a severe cut, and the cut is large enough that when it heals up, you leave a scar. There's a mark there. They call that a scar. And the scar might be there for the rest of your life. It might go away in a few weeks. A scar. Bar, bark, arch, chart, part, scar, the sound R. And that's the end of this lesson. And sound 37 of the 44 sounds of American English. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 letters and letter combinations of one sound. And that sound is A. A. Sounds like the letter A. A. Like a long A. Okay? A. State. State. Like there are 50 states in the United States of America. A state. AI. We have the word frail. Frail. Now, I'm sure you know that many words mean more than one thing. Okay? Frail. For example, frail as a noun is a basket that's used to carry, usually, raisins or prunes in. Or figs, I should say. Figs, fruit. Also, frail as an adjective is, it can mean more than one thing, but one of the things is to be weak. Many times you'll see an elderly person who's very weak, rather deteriorated, they're failing, and we say that they are frail. They could get hurt easily. Frail person. AY, the word spray. Spray. As you could take a bottle with a mister on it and spray your plants to get them wet, to water them. Spray your lawn with the garden hose. EA, a, break. EI, weigh. Now, what is weigh? Well, here we're going to say it's, how much do you weigh? Me, I weigh about a little over 200 pounds. So I weigh close to 100 kilo. EA, break, we already mentioned, but I forgot to mention what break is. If we break something, it's no longer in good repair. We broke it. Break, to break. Perhaps a boy and girl break up as boyfriend and girlfriend. EY, we have obey. Obey. We're expected, when we're children, to obey our parents. Well, we're even expected to obey them after we grow up, right? We should obey all the traffic laws when we're driving our cars to prevent accidents. A. And that's the end of this lesson. Thank you. Sound 38 of the 44 sounds of American English. Here we have 5 letter and letter combinations for one little old sound. Now, what do you think that sound is? Could it be eh? Okay. Now, I want to keep reminding you, there's 44 sounds, and out of 44 sounds, many of them are going to sound so similar, it is unbelievable. But there really are 44 separate sounds. Do a little investigating on your own if you don't believe me, because I know after a while these sounds get to be kind of a blur, but I'm trying to pick them out for you. Here we have the word lemon with the letter E, lemon. Lemon is a fruit, a citrus fruit. Yellow, very, very sour. Ugh, if you bite into one, but tastes great. Lemonade. We have the letter I in the word will. Will. Now, this letter, O, in this word, W-O-M-E-N, it's pronounced women. Women. W-O-M-A-N is woman. Many people don't realize it changes when we go to the plural for more than one woman. We have 2 women, 3 women. This sound becomes we. Okay, we go over here, the letter U, in the word business. We have, and you know what business is, right? Company, exchanging money. What's the purpose of a business? Business's purpose is to make a profit. If it isn't making profit, it really isn't a business. The purpose of a business is to make a profit. Okay, UI, we have building. I am standing in a 15-story building right now as I make this video. Building. Lemon, will, women. I'm guessing you know what a woman is. A man, a woman. Man is male, woman is female. More than one woman, women. Okay, women, business, and building. And that concludes this lesson. Hello. Sound 39 of the 44 sounds that comprise American English. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 letter and letter combinations for one sound. What is the sound? What could the sound be? How about such as O in the word one? One. Now, if you're from Korea, you look at this and you might think it's one. One. No, I'm talking about one as in the past tense of the word win. To win a race. I won the race last year. One. Now this is kind of a hard one to hear in some of these words. So let's try to work through them. O-O. Now you know O-O comes in different sounds. Well, here it's the word hoof. Crook. A hoof is, think of a horse's hoof. The foot of a horse, it's actually a hoof. The foot of a cow is also a hoof. We call that a hoof. But it's a split hoof, like that of a camel or a goat. Hoof. One hoof, two hooves. A crook. Ooh. Well, a crook is someone who is not honest. They're going to cheat you out of your money if they can. They're a crook. Crook. We have OU, a cousin. Cousin. A cousin. Now, if your father or mother has brothers or sisters and they have children, those children are your cousin. Whether it's a male or female, boy or girl, they're called a cousin. Your cousins. Cousin. The word rough. Rough. GH sounds like F. Rough. Now maybe you have very smooth skin. You put lotion on your skin. Oh, it's so nice and smooth. Or maybe you have dry, chapped skin. Ugh. Then it would be rough, right? Like sandpaper rough. When a man doesn't shave, he has a rough beard. You. Okay, it makes the sound in bull. A male bovine. Cattle. A cow. A daddy cow. Mullet. Now, mullet means more than one thing. But one of the things that mullet means is, do you recall the popularity of a mullet haircut? Back in the, I think it was in the 90s they were popular. Maybe the late 80s into the 90s. They had long hair. A person would have long hair in the back and short hair in the front. A mullet. At the time, people thought they looked great. Today, so much, I don't think so. Okay, we have one, hoof, crook, cousin, rough, bull, mullet. That's the end of this lesson. Hello, sound 40 of the 44 sounds of American English. Number 40. That means there are only 4 more after this one. We have 8 letter and letter combinations to make up this sound. It's an easy sound, a simple sound. To me, it just sounds like I. Now, some of these words are a little deceiving though. And if you were to just read them in a book and we're not very knowledgeable in English, you might not get the pronunciation correct. In this case, we have liar. It looks like L-A-I-R, lair. This is liar. So if you do not tell the truth, if you aren't a truthful person, People might say that you are a liar. A liar. Someone who does not tell the truth. EI in the word I. Height. Take off the H, you have 8. The number 8. See? That's what I mean. It's difficult to sound these out. So, there's a lot of things you just have to remember. Height. Height. How high is that building? What is your height? Well, I'm so many feet tall, so many feet and so many inches tall. Height. The height of that building is tremendous. Height. We have EYE in the word I. My eyeball. Eyeball. Eyelid. Eyebrow. Eye. A ribeye steak. And the letter I in the word dime. Dime. An American coin is a dime, and it's worth 10 cents, 10 pennies. 1/10 of a dollar. Dime. IE for the word lie. Lie. Look at that. We have a person who lies is a liar, and what they do is lie. To not tell the truth. They told a lie. They are a liar. UY for the word guy. Guy. It's slang for a man, a boy, a male person. We could say, well, my neighbor is such a nice guy. He always offers to help me out. Guy. G-U-Y. The letter Y in the word D-R-Y, I, dry. Something is wet, something is dry. Opposites. Wet and dry. Dry. Perhaps after you take a shower, you get a towel and you dry yourself off. Y-E, the word die. Die. Now, this isn't the kind of die like you're dead. Oh my gosh, don't die. Now, this is as in a color. If you have, well, like this happens to be a black shirt, so there's black dye in the material to make it black. You have a blue shirt, blue dye. Dye. To dye your clothing a different color. Women like to dye their hair. So do a lot of men. Maybe I should. Nah, maybe not. I. That's the end of this lesson. And sound 41 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letter combinations for the sound air. A-I-R, air. We breathe air. If we put it in this word, we have the word dairy. Dairy. What is dairy? Dairy, products that come from the milk of a cow. Ice cream, butter, yogurt, cream. Just plain old milk. They're dairy products. Dairy products. We have A-R-E. Now this word by itself is the word are. Are you ready to go? But we put a C in front of it, and it now sounds like air. K-air. Care. Do you care about your job? Do you hope you get a raise? Do you care about your spouse, your husband or wife? How about your children? What about your home? Do you care about your home? Do you worry about things? Do you care about things? You're hoping for the best. Here we have air, and this sound is spelled A-Y-E-R, air. Now, we could use the word bricklayer. Bricklayer. What is a bricklayer? Well, do you know what a brick is? A brick is probably something about, oh, so big, masonry product used to build buildings, to build steps, to build houses, to build bridges. Many times they're made out of clay. In more modern times, not so much. But a person who builds something with bricks, they are said to lay the bricks. They're a bricklayer. A card player. A card player. Are you a card player? Maybe you're a bricklayer. Maybe you're a bricklayer who enjoys being a card player after work or on the weekends. But one who plays with the game cards. They play a card game. They're called a card player, right? Could be someone who plays poker, pinochle, whatever. Card player. E-A-R spells ear, but if you put a P in front of it, it becomes air, and we say pear, as in the fruit. It's a yellow fruit, about the size of an apple. Have you ever heard of something that's pear-shaped? A pear. E-R-E, we have the sound air. Where? Where? So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different letter combinations for the sound air. And that's the end of this lesson. Goodbye. Sound 42 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letter and letter combinations that create the same sound in these words we're using as examples. So the letter E, athlete. It sounds like a long E, right? E. Athlete. How about E-A in the word beach, beach. Okay, now, what is a beach? Well, a beach is where the water meets the land. And many people like to go there to lay on a sandy beach, go swimming, sunbathe, have a picnic, things like that. The beach. And an athlete is someone who plays a sport of some sort, right? It might be that they're an athlete who plays baseball, soccer, maybe they're a weightlifter. Athletes, right? Physical sports. Then we have E-E, the word E, wheel. A wheel. The wheels on the bus go round and round, right? Wheel. You have a wheel on your, 4 wheels on your car, 2 wheels on a bicycle. E-I, as in the word receipt. Receipt. Well, if you go someplace to buy something, you go to a store, you give the money to the cashier to pay for your goods, they're going to give you a little piece of paper that says that you paid. A receipt. Now here we have E-I. This is a spelling rule. It's I after E, except after the letter C. So here we have an exception to spelling, so we end up with this IE for receipt, because there's a C here. If the C wasn't there, it would be IE. Same sound. Okay, here we have EY in the word valley. E, valley. What's a valley? Well, you have a mountain over here, you have a mountain over here, and many mountains behind them. The low ground between the mountains is called a valley. Frequently, there'll be a river going through the valley. We have IE, yield. Yield. What does yield mean? Yield means, whoa, stop. Let someone go by first. They have, like if you're out driving, you come to an intersection, maybe there's no stoplight, no traffic light, no red stop sign, but there might be a big yellow triangle yield sign, at least in the United States. And what that means is that you can just drive through carefully with caution if there are no cars coming in the crossroads. But if there is, you must yield to that car. You must let them go first. Yield. And we have Y in the word hazy. Hazy. Have you ever heard of the hazy, lazy days of summer? Well, hazy means that what you look at isn't clear. It's not foggy. It's not that it's cloudy. It's hazy. It's like there's so much moisture in the air that, or maybe it's a pollutant. The air is polluted. Could be. But hazy. A little difficult to see, right? It's not real clear. Hazy. So that takes care of these 7 example words for E. And that's the end of this lesson. Hello. Sound 43 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. 43, only one more to go after this. We have 2 letters. They're both vowels. The letter A, the letter O. In some words, they sound the same. Ah. Ah. Like in the word wash. Wash. Now this looks like it'd be ash. Wash. But no. Wash. Ah. Wash. So, before you eat, you probably wash your hands, right? Wash. How about the word swallow? Swallow. Swallow. Now, what is swallow? Well, a swallow could be a noun. It's a type of a bird, a swallow that swoops around, small bird, and builds its nest in holes the size of banks on like cliffs. Or you could have a barn swallow. Those are bank swallows. A barn swallow builds a little nest up in the rafters of barns or any building it can get a hold of. But a swallow. Also, the verb. To swallow something. If you have a glass of water, you gluk, 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 you swallow it. Quality. 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 Okay. What is quality? Well, quality. Perhaps you're very picky on the quality of food that you are going to consume, that you're going to eat. You chew it up and swallow it. Quality. You want good quality food. Something that is not of a low quality, it's of a high quality. It's of a good value, right? Higher value. Well made, well designed, good tasting, very healthy. Maybe you like a good quality car. Not a cheap car. You want a good quality car. You pay more money for it, but it's of higher quality and should perform better. Here we have O in the word frog. Og, og, fra, ra, frog, frog. What is a frog? Well, a frog is a reptile, and it's an amphibious creature. It can it can live under the water, or it can live on land. We have a frog. Now, ribbit, a green frog hopping along. You probably have seen Kermit the Frog. How about a pot? P-O-T. O-T is ought. O is aw. Ought, pot. A pot. How about something that you set on your gas range? You set it on your stove. You put water in it, some different kinds of vegetables, maybe some meat. It's a pot, a cooking pot that you prepare soup in. A soup pot. How's that? A coffee pot. You make coffee in a pot, right? Maybe it's electric. Maybe you set it on the stove. Still a pot. A coffee pot. Sock. S-O-C-K. We have C-K is k. We put ok, 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 sock. I mean, ok, sock. We have a sock. Okay, a sock. It's something you wear over your bare feet, and then you put your shoes on over the sock, right? A sock. If you have two of them, you have socks. Two socks. I lost one sock. I need to buy a new pair of socks. And that is the end of this lesson. Sound 44 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. Yes, yes, this is the last sound. Now remember, these sounds that we've been going through on the last 43 videos, now 44, are not in any particular order. Let's get on with this one. Here we have 3-letter combinations to make the same sound in different words. What sound do we have here? Could it be ear, ear? Okay. Here we have ear, fear, fear. What is fear? Well, fear is something that you experience. It's an emotion that happens when you're afraid of something. CL, ear, clear, clear. On a clear day, you can see for miles and miles. The water you drink is probably crystal clear, right? Nice and clear. Here we have EER for the word career, a career. Now, do you know what a career is? A career is what you do for work. Okay, EER, we have the word deer. Deer, EER, that's talking about an animal. But ERE now, we have interfere, interfere. Now it sounds fear sounds like this fear, but it's different. What does it mean to interfere? Well, that means you are stopping the progression of an act. You're stopping something from happening or from going very well, or you're slowing it down. Maybe you go to work and you make problems for other people. If you didn't make those problems, probably, if you didn't interfere, probably things would run much smoother at work and things would get done better and faster. Sincere. Sincere. What does sincere mean? Let's see. I think a good way to explain it would be that you are serious about something. You truly want to do something good, right? Pretty much change that to really, and you have a good idea what sincere means. Sincere, sincerely, that sort of thing. And that's the end of this lesson. Now, thank you for watching this video. And don't stop watching, because the pronunciation playlist is going to continue to grow. Wait. You'll see the next video, and you'll be quite interested in what I have there for you. Goodbye for now. Your mother loved to cook. Does your brother like to ride a bicycle? Does your father have a good job? Does. Oh. Here, shows up as in the word flood, flood. When there's too much rain, what happens? The rivers overflow to where they shouldn't be, right? Like into farmers' crops, or perhaps into a town where the buildings are, and we call that a flood. A flood. Bunch, enough, complain, does, flood. All the same sounds with these letters in black. That's the end of this lesson. Hello. Sound 29 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. Here we have 2 vowel combinations. Oi is the sound oi and, of course, oi. Two different ways we can put together that sound. So let's look at this. We have boycott, boycott. Boy, boycott. Do you know what a boycott is? Well, for example, if the prices go up too high at a neighborhood supermarket, you might decide that I'm going to boycott that store by not spending any of my money there. And if I can get all of my friends and neighbors to do the same thing, hey, maybe the store will take notice and lower their prices. It's a boycott. Convoy, enjoy, voice, soil, joint. And that concludes this lesson. Hello. Sound 30 of the 44 sounds that make up American English. Here we have 2 3-letter combinations. What sound do you think we're making here? How about or? We have or. Detour, or, detour. Vapor, 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 vapor. How about the word cure, cure. U-R-E, pure. O-U-R, detour. Poor, adventure, adventure. Cure. The sound ur. Now, what is a detour? Perhaps you're driving down the street and you see a sign that, the road is blocked. Maybe there's some construction work going on. So, there's an arrow pointing. Detour. You have to drive around. Take a detour, a longer way to get to where you want to go. There's an obstacle in the road. A vapor. What's vapor? Vapor. Well, how about a mist in the air? A vapor. How about if you boil water and steam comes up from the water? Well, that's a vapor. A cure. Have you ever had a cold? You take some medicine from the doctor. Hello, and welcome to Speak American English with Lyman Holton. My name is Lyman Holton. In this lesson, we're going to talk about American English pronunciation. Are you ready? Let's begin. Sound 28 of the 44 sounds of American English. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different letters and letter combinations that we can use to make the same sound. And that sound is kind of a sound. Bunch. You could have a bunch of bananas. It's called a bunch. If all the grapes are still on the vine there, that's a bunch of grapes. Did you know that kangaroos, if you have many of them together, it's a bunch of kangaroos? Same thing with pigs. Bunch of pigs, bunch of kangaroos. Grapes and bananas. A bunch. A lot of something. We have O-U. Enough. Have you had enough to eat? Would you like a little more pie, perhaps, to fill you up? Oh, you've had enough? Okay. Complain. Complain. Do you know people who complain a lot? I certainly do. They're so tiresome. Annoying. Please, don't be a complainer. Be happy. Complain. O-E, we have the word does. 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 Doctor, and you're cured. A cure. Pure. Don't you like a glass of nice, cool, pure water? maybe mineral water. It's very clean, it's pure. Adventure. How would you like to go on an adventure tour? To Hawaii. What do you think? Maybe Alaska, New Zealand, many places you could go on an adventure. Okay? Someplace where you take a trip, you've never been there before, so it's something new to you. It's an adventure. And that is the sound or. Okay? Now, that's the end of this lesson. Hello. Sound 31 of the 44 sounds that comprise American English. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-letter combinations to make the same sound. Now, what sound do you think we're making this time? How about or? It's about as easy as it gets. Or, not too complicated. So AR, they all 5 sound the same. The examples we have here, or, warm, warm, or warm. Like, it's so warm in the sun. What a nice, warm, sunny day. How about the word bore? Bore. Did you know that a male adult pig is called a boar? A boar. The mama pig is a sow. Boycott. Could be a boycott against most anything. A convoy. Oi. Convoy. A convoy. If you see some military vehicles going down the road in a line together, they're probably, one right after the other. They're probably in what you call a convoy. And they cannot deviate from that course. They must stay one behind the other from point A to point B. It's a convoy. Enjoy. Are you enjoying your life? I hope so. I know I am because I get to talk to you. Enjoy. Enjoy life. Have a good time. We have OI, the same sound, voice. I have such a melodious voice. Or not. A voice. This is my voice. Like it or not. Oil. Soil. What is soil? Well, basically dirt. Farmers plant their seeds in the soil and the crops grow and life is good. Soil. If your clothes get dirty, someone might say, oh, you've soiled your clothes and you need to wash them. A joint. Oint. Joint. Many different things mean joint. Here, let's say, for example, my elbow is a joint. My wrist is a joint. Joints where your bones come together, that's a joint. It has some other meanings too, but let's go with that one for now. Convoy, boycott.